They need a little of this to get you through the series, seriously.
A lot of it. We're going to try out some Kohana rum. We've got Kyle Rutner from the distillery and Michael Suderman from the Sheraton Waikiki Royal Hawaiian. Sing your name.
Nice tone.
Now listen, I do like a little rum, so tell us about it.
We grow all the sugarcane ourselves, and then we use the fresh juice instead of molasses.
Oh, wow.
Are we just going to taste rum itself?
Pour that lightly because Tipsy Turner will show up quickly.
That's really not
And can we point out the Love is Blind goblets, too? Nice touch. Nice
How is that?
That's rum.
That's rum.
Good job. How is that?
Happening now.
A building full of memories for many San Antonians burned to the ground. What issues neighbors have had with the old Midnight Rodeo building and what the city plans to do next.
There's a push to create a new fund for the families of the victims of the Robb Elementary School shooting. How that fund is being created and who's spearheading the movement.
More fog to deal with, some fluctuations in humidity, and low temperatures will be bouncing around, along with an update on our Friday evening storm chances. The news at 5 starts right now.
At first at 5, a longtime San Antonio dance hall and party spot is no more, suddenly burning to the ground this morning.
While Midnight Rodeo had quit doing business as a dance hall back in 2019, the party inside apparently continued, and that became a big problem.
Our Courtney Friedman with neighbors' reaction to seeing it gone for good and what the city has planned now.
This morning, fire spit out the front, tore through the walls, and collapsed the roof of the old Midnight Rodeo building, destroying 38 years worth of memories.
My sister met her husband, and my other sister met her husband. I came in with $5, met Brooks and Dunn before they were famous. And there were like 30 people in there.
Elisa Ana Martinez has lived in the area for decades and was sad to see the business close down in 2019.
When it got closed, there was graffiti and there's trash and 18-wheelers were hanging out, and it was very sad. And I was hoping that somebody would buy it and do something with it before it came to this point.
There were so many complaints about the property that the city's Danger Assessment Response Team, or DART, went out about a month ago on October 7th. They found a full bar of alcohol, paperwork, and even electricity still in the building. That electricity was shut off last week. Crews found evidence that people had been squatting there.
I saw a bunch of young kids. I don't know how they got in.
That includes the city, who says when the DART team left a month ago, they secured the building extremely well.
We get blamed for a lot of things, and it's just not fair.
Crystal Gresham is experiencing homelessness and living in the area and says a group of younger people did use it for shelter.
So I didn't get to go inside there, but if it's as beautiful and secured, why in the world would anybody want to burn it down?
That's what fire investigators are working to find out. They say luckily no one seemed to be inside the building when it caught fire.
And this is the closest we've been to the scene all day, and we're pretty close. The caution tape is just a couple feet away from me. I want you to look down this way. The angle that we have for you shows the extent, how long this building was and all the damage. Where we're standing right now is the most intact part, believe it or not, and that's saying a lot. There is a wall right here that you can see was yellow with those polka dots on it. That was the only thing between the businesses next door. This is a liquor store and a bingo hall. Just about 2 minutes ago, I spoke to one of the employees at the bingo hall, and she said there was a little bit of smoke damage, but they should be open in the next few days. The city obviously has to go through and clear it. That is something that the property owner will be talking about with the city in a meeting they have scheduled for Monday morning. We're live on the Northeast Side. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Midnight Rodeo, just memories. Thank you, Courtney. Well, maybe it was the guilt, but San Antonio police say a man turned himself in after being a suspect in a Target robbery where a bike was stolen. 36-year-old Guillermo Lozano is charged with robbery. It happened back on September 12th at the Target store on Northwest Loop 410 near Blanco Road. The arrest affidavit states Lozano tried to inflate a bike tire inside the store when he was stopped by an employee. Later, he allegedly left with that bike. More than a month later, Lozano returned to the store to turn himself in. His bond, $60,000.
A man accused of attempting to steal a car ended up with a ride to the hospital instead. He has life-threatening bullet wounds after being shot by the car's owner. The owner had left his car running while he went inside the house in order to get his kids ready for school. The owner saw the suspect and told police that he feared for his life when the victim made a move. And that's when the suspect was shot. That suspect able to run off from the scene at Springvale Drive near Medina Base Road in Loop 410, but we don't yet know if any charges will be filed.
San Antonio Police reaching out for your help to find a woman who disappeared back on September 13th. Police are looking for 75-year-old Barbara Luthi. She was last seen in the 2000 block of San Lucas, not far from Hunt Lane and Marbach Road. She's described as 5 feet 3 inches tall, green eyes, glasses, and blonde hair. Anyone with information asked to contact SAPD's Missing Persons Unit at 210-207-7660.
$300 million in compensation funds for Uvalde school shooting victims. That's what State Senator Roland Gutierrez wants to see. Gutierrez announcing the plans to file today with some of the Uvalde families present at the Uvalde Town Square. That is where Alicia Barrera joins us with more about when this bill could take effect.
Ursula, good afternoon. Before we get to that, you can probably hear the music, and that's because the community of Uvalde is preparing for that Day of the Dead celebration. But about this bill, it would take effect immediately if they're able to get 2/3 of the vote. That would happen until January. And State Senator Roland Gutierrez was asked about his conversations on both sides of the aisle. He says that hasn't happened yet. However, he is hoping to receive bipartisan support. So exactly when would this bill be filed? Gutierrez says he'll file the proposal for the Uvalde Victims Compensation Act on November 11th. Gutierrez says these $300 million are to afford the families of the deceased and survivors the time to grieve. And here's how it would work. $7.7 million for families of the deceased, $2.1 million for those seriously injured. And the last year is $250,000 for those with mental or emotional disability. And those amounts you just heard are a message to the officers and agencies that Gutierrez says failed the kids, teachers, and communities of Uvalde.
The 7.7 is clear. Those kids waited for 77 minutes while cops did nothing. The 2.1 million is for the 21 people that died, and that goes to injured children, because forever they'll have to live with a survivor's guilt among many other traumas that they'll have to deal with in their lives.
Another question today, where will the money for these funds come from? Gutierrez says there are $27 billion in surplus in ARPA funds. And he did add that his team did send this proposal to the governor. He's waiting to hear back on that. But for many parents, this was their first time hearing the details on the proposed bill. So coming up at 6, we'll give you more information on exactly the timeline of how it will work and how the money will be dispersed. Back to you.
Thank you, Alicia. Well, after today, there are only 2 days left of early voting. Already more than 224,000 votes have been cast. And though that number seems high, it's actually not keeping up with the voter totals in 2018. The Bexar County Elections Administrator, Jackie Callanan, gave an update today. Early voting down 13%, and despite registration being up by 11%. Callanan says usually the last 3 days the busiest for early voting. However, she is still lowering her expectations.
And I went into it saying, hey, we're going to have 650,000 people vote. Now I'm pretty much down to 500, 550. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But that seems to, if we just project the numbers we're seeing right now.
Now, tomorrow, Callanan will be meeting with all the Election Day officials to talk about final reminders and any last-minute changes. And with Election Day next Tuesday, we're showing you all the races and candidates for this midterm election, learning about their platforms so you can help make an informed decision on who to choose on your ballot. A key race this year is Texas governor. 4 months ago, KSAT extended invitations for one-on-one interviews to both Governor Greg Abbott and Beto O'Rourke, the Republican and Democratic candidates. Only one candidate actually took us up on that request. Tonight will be my interview with Beto O'Rourke. Some topics you can expect to come up: abortion, immigration, and gun control after what happened in Uvalde. It's tonight on the Night Beat. Then on Thursday, Governor Greg Abbott is in Bexar County, and we're going to cover his remarks. We'll have them for you on the Night Beat Thursday.
It hasn't happened in 2 years because of COVID, but thousands and thousands of people are going to be giving thanks in person at the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner this year. It's the 43rd year of this huge event in the city. The dinner is going to be November 24th. It's at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. There's one potential snag, though. There's been an increase in food costs and concern that there won't be as many donations this year. Coming up on the news at 6, how the organizers are getting a post-COVID Thanksgiving surprise.
Clouds moving back into town. It's going to lead to some areas of fog later on tonight, but at least temperatures are pleasant. We're in the 70s. 72 in Lakey right now and Eagle Pass. Del Rio 71 along with Panna Maria. 75 in Windcrest where we've had a little more sun. 77 Mico and Seguin at 77 degrees. So as we go through the night becoming calm, you'll notice the humidity, fog developing again. It's that time of year. We'll talk about how many mornings we're going to have to deal with some fog. Also an update on the Friday evening storm chances. I'll have the latest in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Going to the dentist can be stressful. It can also be expensive, especially if it's for more than a cleaning. But do you always need the filling or the root canal that's recommended? 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz looks at when to consider a second opinion.
Sitting in the dentist chair, you don't really want to hear you need a filling, crown, or root canal. But do you always need every procedure they recommend?
There's a lot of gray area in dentistry, and there's not always one right answer for a given problem.
It can be wise to get a second opinion, especially if the dentist is pressuring you for a pricey procedure. But only 27% of people have ever gotten a second opinion over a dental matter. Consumer Reports asked dentists what you should do if you're told you need a procedure. Take a routine filling. Replacing or repairing a filling can be important when they're damaged, but age alone should not be the only reason for new fillings.
So push back if your dentist recommends replacing your fillings just because they're old.
If your dentist recommends a root canal, make sure they do adequate testing, which may include x-rays and a sensitivity test. And if the dentist recommends pulling a tooth, ask if there are other options, because an implant can cost thousands of dollars.
A tooth extraction is generally the last step for a damaged tooth, so if your dentist recommends an extraction, ask them to explain why and consider getting a second opinion.
To find a dentist for a second opinion, ask friends or family or search on the American Dental Association's website. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
This is definitely not the first time, and it probably won't be the last. The Federal Reserve announcing interest rate hikes. How this is supposed to stop a recession.
Take a look at traffic outside on this Wednesday, and we're going to 281 at Loop 410. It's actually the ramp from 281 South to Loop 410 West, and you can tell the ramp is stop and go. So is 410 down below in the access road as people are trying to get off and get onto 410. It is a very busy part of town right now.
I'm Myra Arthur here in the newsroom with a look at what's ahead on the news at 6 o'clock today. On the docket, another murder trial now underway, this time for the death of a teenager 2 years ago. Our Erica Hernandez was in court on day one. She gives us a play-by-play on this revealing surveillance video that was shown to the jury. Plus, they might have different goals, different issues to focus on, but the mission is the same, to encourage people to get out and vote. Tonight at 6, we're speaking with the heads of both the Bexar County Republican and Democratic parties. We'll break down their party goals and why they want you to cast your ballot. Some people call them casitas or granny flats. Whatever the name, the city is considering changes that would make it easier to build these small secondary homes behind your own home. But there is a concern here that it could be investors and not homeowners behind these projects. We're going to explain that and tell you why. All that and more today on the news at 6.
Thank you, Myra. No big surprise, but still a painful one for consumers. As expected, the Federal Reserve today announced a 0.75% interest rate hike. This is the fourth rate hike this year intended to tame inflation. ABC's Alexis Christoforous with how it could maybe drop prices, but the question still remains, will it stop a recession?
The Federal Reserve hiking interest rates for the 6th time this year as it tries to beat back the highest inflation in 4 decades.
With today's action, we've raised interest rates by 3.75 percentage points this year. We anticipate that ongoing increases in the target range for the federal funds rate will be appropriate.
The Fed is trying to achieve a soft landing by slowing the economy just enough to lower inflation, but not so much that it triggers a recession. The string of rate hikes making borrowing more expensive, from credit cards to auto loans to home mortgages. The average American is carrying a credit card balance of $6,200. If you're making only the minimum payments, after today's hike, the cost of interest has increased by nearly $1,600 since the start of the year. 2 months ago, a $300,000 home mortgage would have cost you $1,734. Today, it's more than $2,000.
Mortgage rates are up over 7% for a 30-year fixed, and that's hit housing demand very significantly.
The higher cost of borrowing is starting to have an impact on consumer spending. Stocks edged lower in early trading Wednesday as Wall Street prepared for the Fed's announcement.
Stock prices are down about 20% from their peak back at the start of the year. And of course, that's having impacts on people's willingness and ability to go out and spend.
The job market remains very resilient despite all these interest rate increases. The number of job openings increased this week to 10.7 million, which means there are nearly 2 jobs available for each person looking for work. Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
Take a look at live cam right now. 75 degrees out there. There are some clouds, but not rain yet.
And I do have an update on my confidence in those Friday evening showers and storms.
A Kasky confidence update. I like it.
I like it.
Yeah, Kasky confidence update. And if you can tell by my tone, my confidence has dropped a little bit. Anyway, morning fog and sprinkles on the way. We will have some dampness, just not anything that really amounts to much anytime soon. Humid except for the weekend, and then the storm chances, we still have a shot on Friday, but I'll let you know what you should really plan for and what we're watching out for in a moment. First of all, look at those rain and storm chances, 20% through Friday. That's of sprinkles, okay? We'll have morning fog, drizzle, and even some sprinkles. Even in the afternoon, some of the clouds could spit out a few sprinkles. Friday evening, that's when we have now a 30% chance of a few thunderstorms developing along a cold front that's going to swiftly move through our area. So let's chat about it. Quiet across the state. We just have those low clouds increasing, which will probably drop a few sprinkles this evening, just not going to amount to anything. And the kind where you don't even need your windshield wipers. We're watching this big dip in the upper level flow over western U.S. That's our next system. That's our next trough that's headed our way. On its way from the western U.S. to Texas, it's going to dump some good snowfall in the higher elevations of the Rockies. But for us, I think most of the energy is going to be a little too far to the north to really tap in to the good rainfall and widespread rain. Notice on our futurecast, as we were saying yesterday, we could be just on the tail end of this activity. There's likely to be a line of storms that will develop. We're just going to be right near or at the end of that line. And so there's about a 30% chance we could get clipped by it very briefly Friday evening between about 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. So that's the timing. Friday evening, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. A narrow line possible here. I'm not calling it probable right now. So minimal rainfall likely. Most of us should remain dry. And if you do get hit, it would be pretty quick. This would be a quick splash and dash, rumble, snap, crackle, pop, and out of here. We are watching for the potential for a stray severe thunderstorms. It's one of those situations where if we get a little development, then I think there's the likelihood of a strong to severe storm. I just think it'd be very isolated in nature. So that's the update on Friday evening. My confidence has dropped a little bit in us seeing much, if anything. I don't anticipate widespread disruptions in Friday night football. Maybe east of San Antonio, closer to the Gulf Coast, but probably not locally. 76 right now. Dew point is 62. That's important. Not just for comfort level. We're noticing some humidity, but it's that time of year. The temperature drops down to the dew point at night. That means the air is saturated. It gives us fog. Here's our futurecast for fog tomorrow morning. Visibility is likely to be around and under 2 miles for the morning commute. So anticipate some areas of dense fog to start the day again tomorrow. Then by the noon hour, we'll break into some sunshine. And actually morning fog Thursday, Friday, not the weekend because we'll have a lack of humidity. But then next week we get back into that pattern. Typically this time of year, the fall with the longer nights, when we have humidity in place, it leads to fog. It's a foggy time of year around here. So temperatures right now in the mid-70s. It's comfortable and pleasant outside. You just notice that hint of humidity in the air. Tomorrow morning, we'll start the day in the 60s to right near 70 degrees. So we're thinking 67 in San Antonio with that fog and a few sprinkles. By the afternoon, we'll have some sunshine, 85 Pleasanton, 84 in Hondo, Canyon Lake, 83 degrees. Downtown San Antonio, about 84 for the afternoon high. Again, a bit of dampness for the morning, not adding up to much, but by the afternoon we'll squeeze in some sunshine and a south-southeasterly wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour with some higher gusts. This weekend feeling a little more like fall. Mornings go from 70 on Friday down to 50 by Sunday morning. And then next week's going to be a lot like this week with the morning fog and some sprinkles.
Going to be a beautiful weekend and maybe some rain.
Yeah. Perhaps. All right, let's go live to the AT&T Center right now. Greg Simmons standing by with the surprisingly streaking San Antonio Spurs. They are playing very well, Greg.
Yeah, they're a fun team to watch. They would love to run with the ball, and in this particular case here, they just outgun everybody. Can they continue that tonight? They're going to miss their leading scorer, Keldon Johnson. We'll tell you why. And also, we come back, the Astros get smoked in Game 3 coming up. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome live to the AT&T Center for the Spurs home game against the Toronto Raptors tonight. The Spurs come into this game with a surprising 5-2 start to their season. Surprising because they're such a young team and right now sit fourth in the Western Conference behind the Suns, the Blazers, and the Jazz. Since going 3-1 on their first road trip of the season, the Spurs have returned home to win back-to-back games against Chicago and Minnesota and still have 4 out of their next 5 games at home. But their leading scorer, Keldon Johnson, is out for tonight's game with tightness in his right calf. So how have the Spurs been able to win 5 of their first 7 games dealing with injuries, including Josh Richardson, who's coming back from issues with his back?
We don't really play just through like one guy. Like we don't have like a superstar. Everybody's very unselfish. We play with a lot of pace. I mean, it's tough to guard when everybody can really, be a threat. So when you got a team like that, I think it's always dangerous.
All happens tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll have all the highlights for you tonight. We'll take you inside, we hope, is the Spurs winning locker room after the game.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
It appears the Snyders are dealing with the possibility of selling the Washington Commanders. That's after they have hired Bank of America Securities to explore their options. Now, the team has been in turmoil since an ESPN report detailed a toxic workplace culture under the current ownership, prompting investigators by Congress and the attorneys general of both Virginia and Washington, D.C. for alleged financial improprieties, which the team has denied. Daniel and Tanya Snyder are announcing that they have hired the bank to explore potential transactions involving the team. If they do decide to sell the team, it would require the approval of the 3/4 of the NFL owners, which would be 24 of the current 32 teams. Houston Astros got clobbered by the Phillies in the rain-delay Game 3 last night in Philadelphia. They got rocked for 4 runs in the first 2 innings off Lance McCullers. Bryce Harper started the barrage with a 2-run homer in the first, and the long ball continued for the Phillies in the 5th when McCullers served up this blast by Kyle Schwarber in 7-0 rout. The Astros' 2 losses. Their biggest problem is leaving their starters in much too long. They'll try it again tonight to get even with the Phillies at 7 p.m. Live from the AT&T Center, Greg Simmons, KSAT 12 Sports. We'll wrap it up after this.
Thanks so much for watching.
World News is up next. We'll see you back here at 6.